So my voice is really rough right now. I had surgery this morning and I was intubated for that, so my throat was really sore all day. Feels a lot better now. Anyway, I just wanted to share this game that I was playing. So I tried out the Necromancer for the first time. Well, second time. My first run with the Necromancer was god awful. Don't choose zombie summon. It's worthless. Wisps are just better. Because the zombies summon, and all they do is run in with 60 health and attack until they die. Wisps attack, and they have some DPS, but they have a range, and then they get all your other skills. So, once you get these special wisps with this summoner's shield, they're just putting shield out like crazy. You'll see that like everybody's got a stupid amount of shield. What I have done is a really fun combination here. So this new red dryad, the Dahlia dryad, I will always pick her up. She is a tank. She comes with 800 health, which is pretty decent. She has high damage per second, and she gives herself shield like crazy whenever a unit receives a unique ailment. She gives herself lifesteal for the whole fight, because her mana regen gives her lifesteal for 10 seconds, but it takes her less than 10 seconds to refresh it. This sap ability is rather amazing. So you may notice on this guy, he's got 52 sap on him. So each second he takes 52 damage, even if this unit, my Dryad, stops attacking him and goes to a different unit, which she can't because the board is literally full. Oh, it doesn't show it now. There we go, 52 sap. Even if she leaves this guy and goes somewhere else, he's taking 52 damage per second, and she is literally healing for all of it. So, yeah, she does a lot of damage per second, and she does this sap deal. Meanwhile, I went healing crazy. So I pulled out this Orchid Dryad that has the Healer Alliance and summons a Healing Wisp. She also consumes a random ephemeral unit and gains a bunch of shield and increases her damage, so she becomes a frickin' brawler at some point. You'll notice she has 210 increased damage and attacks every 1.3 seconds. So she has 308 DPS, which is astoundingly good. And then she shields herself. And she also creates a clone at the start of each battle, making it to where when she first casts her skill, she can always energy absorb that clone. Or there's several other things I can do with that clone because this deck is fun, so there's nothing there. It's going to be in here. So, where is it? Oh. I don't see the card. Here it is. So I can consume an ephemeral unit and give everyone 50 mana. So that makes my main guy summon more wisps. It makes my Orchid Dryad summon another healing wisp. And the wisps summon wisps that my main guy summons. So he'll summon a special wisp, this kind right here, which then... or no, my wisps summon clones. So then every time this wisp casts a skill, it summons a cone. Or it summons a clone, which is another ephemeral unit. And then can get a bunch of burst mana from the odds of them hitting two different allies that are both ephemeral are really high, considering there's only 5 units on this board that are not ephemeral. Everything else is ephemeral. Then it'll give itself a boost of 20 mana, making it summon another clone that much faster. Same thing with my main hero, right? He has a chance to give himself a boost of 20 mana off the bat. But he also gives 20 mana to all of his adjacent allies every time he casts a skill. And I also have Enchanter Alliance, giving 20 mana each time I play an enchant card. Now I thought I had the ability that whenever someone attacks they have a 10% chance to gain 10 mana, but it appears I do not have that. So the strategy I've done with this deck, which is really fun, is you'll notice I just have these deplete cards just kind of saved up. There's one in my draw pile. I didn't use it even though it was 0 cost. I didn't use these either even though they were 0 cost. And they deplete. And I didn't use this even though it's a 0 cost, even though it depletes. And the reason I haven't done that is I'm keeping this pile relatively small for Ice Storm. So when I cast Ice Storm, which costs 3, it gives 125 shield to everybody. This is upgraded. Normally it's 75, I think. 125 shield to all allies, and it depletes the card and gives me a Frost Orb. But then I play Unbury, and Unbury will draw 2 cards from my deplete pile. So when I draw that, I will then pull this Ice Storm back out and play it again. And you might notice that I have played it 3 times. So every time something depletes, everything on my board gets 375 shield. Right? And all my deplete cards cost 0. And when I get Unbury, it also costs 0. And if I pull... So every time I play Unbury, it pulls 2 deplete cards from my deplete pile, and they all cost 0, except for Ice Storm. So I'll gladly take anything. And then, meanwhile, I don't have to do anything because my whole field is just summoning monsters away, creating all of these targets to draw fire from my actual units. Meanwhile, my actual units are doing heckin' work. Because I've got all these healing wisps. Let me find a healing wisp. Which restores 25 health to a random ally. But then I also have these 2 light preachers. One which heals for 15 to all allies, and one which heals for 10 to all allies. Doing their thing. And they also remove ailments and shield all allies whenever they cast skills. And you'll notice I have them directly adjacent to my Necromancer, who every time he casts his skill, shoves 20 mana their direction. Okay? So, then on top of that, because I have this Dryad, this Light Preacher, and this Light Preacher, I have 3 Healers Alliances, which increase all healing effects by 75%. And then on top of that, every time I play any kind of deplete card, I get shield. So just watch what happens when I apply 35 shield to all allies and this depletes. Isn't that fun? And then I'm going to go ahead And do it again. And then I'll just go ahead and freeze that guy for an orb. That way this will be playable when I have mana next turn. And we're just gonna let this go. I'm gonna slow this down to like 0.75. Here's next turn. I'm gonna give everybody 50 mana. Because why the hell not? Look at all them full health bars. Gonna get another one of these. Every time I conjure, I draw a card. Oh, this is conjuring. I should have done that before I conjured. We're up to like 2,500 shield on everyone. I don't even need to play these. They're irrelevant. Okay, I'll play this on that guy. And I'll tell him to just turn around and hit that guy. This conjures. So, give her haste. 3,600, 3,700. This is a battle of attrition. I think I'm gonna win. Let's let this go. I really need her to get in there. Can I get her? There's not a free spot on the board. Get over there. No. Haste on this Dryad because she's my highest damage dealing person. He's trying to summon people and he just can't. He just can't. Everybody get mana. Oh, you know what? Give everybody 35 shield. Keep going. For one turn, conjure, draw a card. Okay. Conjure. 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 Haste on you. Unbury. Anyway, that was just a really silly run. And the Dahlia Dryad did so much damage. And the Orchid Dryad did second damage. Healing Wisp, Special Wisp. Yeah, this Ofuda works really well with this build because every time one of your ephemeral units dies, it blows up for 150 damage to all enemies around it. I was scared of using it because I definitely had a glitch once where I blew up I blew up one of my summoned creatures to do damage, and it did the damage to my units as well. And I was like, whoa, hold on. So I like shied away from it, and then I reread it, and it said it only does it to enemies. And I was like, like, but it didn't though that one time. So I don't know what caused it to hurt my allies as well that once, but it's been really consistent ever since. I haven't seen it do the damage to surrounding allies in a while. Anyway, my Necromancer's piss poor on damage. The Dark Piglet did more. But, yeah. This Dahlia Dryad and Orchid Dryad, man, they are MVPs. Anyway, this is my new fun experience with Hadean Tactics.